Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Boxing Lockup vlog with me, Matt Goddard. And today I am going to wax lyrical about the heavyweight prospect coming off the back of an exceptional victory tonight, and that is Moses Itauma. Now, Moses Itauma is a British Slovakian. He is the brother, of course, of light heavyweight Karol Itauma, and he was born, can't believe I'm saying this, but in only 2004, the 28th of December 2004, which means he is only 20 years old, which is insane and makes me feel immensely old. However, in that time, he has risen to the status of what I would consider as one of heavyweight boxing's greatest prospects. He's now developing a very good record. We were looking forward to a little bit of a bigger fight tonight. However, he ended up boxing a guy called Mike Balogun, who was 21 and 1. So 21 wins, one loss. His one loss coming up to former cruiserweight king Murat Gassiev, who was 29 and 1 at the time, with his only loss coming to Usyk. He got stopped, but the man Moses knocked him out in the second round, dropped him in the first, and put him down twice in the second, with an exceptional performance. Very, very tidy boxing, as always, from him, as we have come to expect. Now, Moses has previously beaten Dempsey McKean in his fight prior to this one, who was 22 and 1 going into that fight, having just lost to Filip Hrgovic. But let's be real, McKean is no exceptional boxer and he's no world beater. He's, I would say, incredibly limited. And, he's just one of these kind of giants that we get a lot of in the modern era who really, skill set wise, they're lacking. They've got good range and basically just straight shots, and that's about all they've got in the locker. Prior to that, he beat Marius Wack, who was 38 and 10 at the time. Lots of losses, but an experienced guy, a big guy, a strong guy. And Itauma basically just beat him up. Easy, looked very comfortable. So let's talk about it. What are his greatest skills? I think primarily his mentality and his focus. He seems to have an exceptional propensity for a kind of laser-like vision. He doesn't seem to shy away from a challenge. He's confident in his own abilities without being cocky or arrogant at the times when he shouldn't be. He carries himself incredibly well. We've heard the sparring stories from guys like Tyson Fury, who can't speak of him highly enough, and we've heard the same about Lawrence Okolie. Apparently, he turned up to sparring against Lawrence Okolie in his school uniform and absolutely pieced him up, which is an incredible feat for someone who would have been incredibly young at the time as well. So, listen, he's very, very impressive. We mustn't get carried away before we've seen him properly tested and before we've seen him hit. How he responds to that adversity will tell us what we've got on our hands. It's easy, especially as a British boxing fan or as somebody involved in British boxing, to get carried away with the slightest bit of success at heavyweight. Obviously, we've had some fantastic success throughout the years at heavyweight with Lennox Lewis, with Tyson Fury, with Anthony Joshua, with Frank Bruno, all of these exceptional names. And I think the minute somebody comes through, even going so far as Audley Harrison, the minute somebody comes through, we tend to throw all our eggs in that basket and hope that they're going to be the next big thing. And often we kind of build them up far beyond where they've proven they are worthy of being. Now, that's not to say Itauma has not got the skill set for that. The guy that he boxed tonight, Balogun, had been out of the ring, I think, for over a year. So he hadn't boxed in over a year, and limited, very limited. He hadn't beaten anyone of any kind of real exceptional note, any note really, any sort of any sort of record that would be even remotely impressive. So there was nothing to look at there that made us think he was going to beat Itauma. That doesn't mean he wasn't a live opponent. That doesn't mean he didn't come with everything to gain and nothing to lose. So there's always a risk there, and as such, Itauma put in the performance that he had to put in, and kept his momentum going, kept the interest from the British public going, and the broader boxing fraternity. Now, skill set, back to that. I said focus and I said mentality, and that extends to his composure when he's in the ring, particularly. That's not to say he doesn't have it out of it, but obviously from a boxing perspective, in any sort of exchanges, he is supremely confident at every range. His defensive capabilities are far beyond what most young heavyweights have demonstrated in the modern era. In fact, probably some of the best defensive skills I've seen since a young Tyson Fury, or going even further back to the kind of 90s era with the head movement of Mike Tyson. Now, I'm not comparing Itauma to Mike Tyson. I'm just saying the head movement and defensive capabilities are somewhat akin to what Tyson demonstrated. They are not stylistically the same at all. They are very different fighters. So he has that composure. His head movement is exceptional, and his counter punches off of that head movement. His creation of angles is also very, very clever. He boxes with an IQ of somebody who's been in the game 10 years longer than he has. He's confident and comfortable at all ranges, as I said. At long range, he's very patient, he's very intelligent, he's very stalking, and he knows how to put himself in a position to land well. He sets really, really good traps. He changes his position and pulls people in really well. His shot selection is absolutely fantastic. It's not flawless, but for a guy who's had now 12 fights unbeaten and is only 20 years old, I mean, there's some beautiful work to watch there, and he's very, very, very clever. He's very favourable as a boxing purist. I would say that everything about his style is pleasant for me to watch. I enjoy it. I enjoy the beauty behind it. There's an artistry to what he does. There's an intellect behind it that you can see he's doing things with intent. And that is always impressive, especially when you've got 20 stone, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 stone men piling onto you, trying to throw shots or swinging big bombs at you. And his composure and the combination of all of the other skills that I mentioned just means that he is supremely confident and beautiful to watch. Negatives. Is there any? Yes, there is. We haven't seen him tested yet. As I mentioned earlier, you have to see somebody's chin tested, particularly at heavyweight. We don't want a repeat of Jared Anderson versus Martin Bakole. Jared Anderson, beautiful skill set, had seemingly everything in the locker, got beat down by a big man who wasn't afraid of what he could offer. And that's what we have to be careful not to kind of, as I said earlier, not to overinvest and not to blow his current success out of all proportions. Now, what we need to see from Moses Itauma, in my opinion, of course, I'm not his promoter, I'm not his management, I don't know him personally, but in my opinion, what we need to see from Moses is we need to see a decent, unbeaten opponent. We need to see him beat an opponent of a similar age, within sort of 5-6 years of early 20s. We need to see him beat opponents who are rugged and tough, the likes of what we had 5-6 years ago with Carlos Takam. Not so much anymore. I'm not recommending that fight now. And Derek Chisora, those kind of names who it's very hard to get out of there quickly. You have to really, really push them. We need to see how he copes with somebody with an equally mobile style, somebody like Joseph Parker, Alexander Usyk. Again, I'm not suggesting he boxes them. I'm suggesting we need to see how he handles those styles, how he has developed as a fighter to overcome different styles. Because realistically, what we want to see in boxing is we want to see different styles matched up to create good fights that gel well, that are entertaining for fans, and where we can see the best of the fighter and the best fights. So, yeah, in short, my opinion of Moses is almost entirely positive. In fact, I don't have anything negative to say really. I like the confidence that he has in himself. I like the way he carries himself. I like his demeanor. I think it's good that he doesn't over talk himself, but he is also maintains a self-confidence and an awareness of his abilities that kind of enables him to brush off the big questions about him being better than this person and better than that person and the new Tyson and the new Usyk and the new blah blah blah. It's all the same rubbish that we've been hearing for years about every next prospect that comes. So it's nice to see someone A, with the humility to brush that off, and also B, with the self-confidence to answer it honestly without appearing arrogant. I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's a very good fighter, and I'm really excited to see what his future brings. And it's really, really good again to have such a skillful British heavyweight boxer in the mix. And I can't really say a lot more than that. So that is my breakdown of Moses Itauma coming off the back of his win tonight via second round stoppage. I'm very excited for what the future brings, and hopefully you guys are all excited about Moses too, without getting too carried away. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment any questions you have below, any other videos or analysis you'd like me to do, any other fighter breakdowns, or any other subjects you want me to talk about. Please do ask. I am all over it. I'm going to try and get more content produced regularly for everyone. So yeah, the other thing to mention, guys, just before I go, is I am starting a brand new members area on my website, tbltrainingplans.com, and within that area I'm posting long form instructional content, very much like some of the videos that I've got on YouTube, but more akin to the videos that I've created for dynamic striking there, on specific subjects. We're going a lot broader into those subjects and a lot longer than most of the content that's on my YouTube. I'm talking everything from 5 minutes up to 45-minute videos. So there's going to be an enormous amount of content on there. It's very affordable monthly, and I'll be updating it all of the time with new videos. So keep an eye out for that. Drop me a message if you're interested in more info. And otherwise, as I said, comment, like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Have a great day, everybody.